back from break yet. We have a couple more minutes. I want to start passing these out. These are your engineering notebooks. And we are going to be using those for this project that we're going to introduce right now. So if you get these, and I will, please don't write them yet. I'm going to give you some instruction on the rules for using engineering notebooks. Gary did not show up, I guess. Everybody know Harry? Yeah.
He's in Florida.
What's that?
Harry?
Yeah.
He's in Florida.
Oh, he's in Florida.
Yeah.
That, that could explain why he's not here, I guess. So,
At least he's in a better place.
you know when he's coming back? A sporting event? Okay, now we're going to use these engineering notebooks because we're going to introduce the project, and I would like to have you just get started immediately. So please put your name on the front of the notebooks right now, and we're going to do an entire section to show you how to operate with an engineering notebook, and so you'll understand the reasons for all of these things later on. It's important because it protects ideas, it records everything so you don't forget what you're doing, but also it's often used as a legal document in court. And so the things that we're going to talk about, ultimately you'll find out why they're important if you ever get litigation in a project. And hopefully in high school we're not going to get litigation, at least not about this. So what I want you to do is take the first four. How many of you use a notebook like this like to write on both sides of the sheet, front and back? If you do, then that's fine. So your first 4 pages will be front, back, front, back. If you don't like to do that, do it all the same, all the way to your notebook. If you only want to write in the front, you may do that, but make sure you don't switch back and forth. And so what I want you to do then is turn your first 4 pages into a table of contents. And so at the top, just write table of contents on those 4 pages. I'm just going to write TOC. And then what I want you to do is write subject and page. I want you to number every one of those pages on the table of contents, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is going to be page 1 right there. And your first subject is going to be PA intro. You'll find out what that means in a minute, and then you will start on page 5. So this just sets you up, so whatever you're working in this notebook, you'll be able to find it. You're going to number the pages, and you're going to use dates. Is anybody working in pencil instead of pen? Do you have a pen? Okay, switch to pen right now. Sorry, came later, but it's still pretty important. You're going to be writing in pen because this is supposed to be a record that cannot be changed. This is going to be a record. If you're going to present it, you don't want to present it and say, well, I think you probably really invented this thing a lot later and then went back and erased your pencil marks and put it in. This is going to be a record of your work. It is really tied to the date that you write down there. So now you get to page 5, you put that page 5 up there, and then you're going to write a date. Every date. So the date today is 8/17/15. And I might write PA intro there as well. And now I want you to just take notes. And there are several things. If you make an error, I want you to cross it out with a single strike. So if you wrote mass when you should have written weight, I don't want you to just scribble it all out. Just put one line through it so I can still see it. So I don't think you're hiding anything. You're not hiding anything. You just made a mistake. And you fixed it right here. So don't be scratching stuff out. That looks suspicious to me. And to judges if it ever comes to that. And then make a continuous record. Don't leave any unusual space. Typically, you're going to work from top to bottom of this. You put 5, and you're going to write stuff all down there. Every once in a while, you want to do something. Suppose you want to put a lab in here. What you do is you cross that out so that you couldn't write in that. It means I'm not going to write in that section. But you don't leave any blank space that could be written into later since something didn't appear to be there. We're going to learn in more detail why that's all important. Okay, now you're going to take notes on the project. This poster is a 48 by 36 poster. It's right over here. So you may want to take it and write it over here. Unfortunately, my resolution on rejection is not quite good enough, and you can't read it. So I'm going to explain to you what it says. And then later on you go over and look. The resolution on this is much, much better. And this would be fairly typical of a poster. And you're all going to have to make a poster at the end of this. You're going to write about your work in a poster that's that big. So first of all, the introduction says, this is not work that high school students typically do. This is the work that graduate students do. But that does not mean that you cannot do it. Because the physics that involved is nothing that you're not going to learn in this class. And the engineering principles that are involved and the kinds of design are nothing that you can't learn with a little help in this class. And so even though this is graduate level work, you are going to be able to do it, I believe. I really believe you're going to make good progress with this. But the reason that I'm excited about you doing it, I've never done anything like this, is because of its significance. Its significance, how many people know much about diabetes? Much about diabetes? Well, how do diabetics typically control measure their blood sugar? They prick themselves and have to test it. It's a pain in the butt. I have a friend who actually has a continuous monitor. He pricks himself twice a day, and then he pulled up his shirt and he showed me. He's actually got a little needle that's stuffed in his belly all day. And then he tapes it on, and that little needle hangs there, and he has to calibrate it twice a day. But when he walks around, he's walking around with a needle stuffed into his belly. And that can be a continuous monitor, but it's not non-invasive. It's a pain. So, first of all, I just have a few teasers here. Here are the 3 objectives. Number 1, understand diabetes and the importance of glucose monitoring. If you're going to work on a project, you have to know what that project is about. You have to know why we're doing it. And we're going to investigate that together. And we're going to use that as a method for finding out how to research. Some of you already know how to research, but if you don't, we're going to research together and find out how to make way and learn about that topic. Number 2, learn about photoacoustics, be able to explain it. We're going to do research together on that, and then you may do research alone, but we're going to do research while I'm doing this. Then we're finally going to do the crux of this matter, and it's an important problem. That's why we're working on it. It is determine whether photoacoustics can be used to create a non-invasive glucose monitoring system. This is a problem that people have worked out for years and years and years, and you're going to take a shot at it. It's really hard. We may succeed, we might not succeed, but we might as well do something that's worthwhile. You can't read some of this because I've just given you a couple teasers here. You may take some notes. But in 2012, there were over 29 million diabetics in the United States. Mixes of type 1 and type 2. This thing shows you they can be affected by almost every body system has problems. It's just, if you want to be really grossed out, you Google and images for diabetes problems. But be ready to be grossed out by it because it's pretty severe. But the problem is not diabetes. Diabetes does not hurt you. What hurts you? Yeah, what were you going to say?
Insulin level, incorrect insulin levels causing incorrect body responses.
Incorrect, yeah. And what did you say, Alex? Yeah, the blood sugar. The insulin controls the blood sugar. The thing that really hurts you is your glucose level. And I put it out there one fact, and I want you to investigate other facts. But an uncontrolled diabetic has 3 times the likelihood of dying from a myocardial infarction, 3 times the likelihood of dying from a heart attack as someone who does not have diabetes. So it's pretty serious. But a diabetic with very good glucose control has exactly the same likelihood of dying as from a heart attack as the rest of you that don't have diabetes. So this is a big deal. I mean, this is a big health deal, but you have to know the glucose. And this thing is not only a pain in the butt, the problem is non-compliance. People don't do it. It's a mess, and they don't like to take care of these things. So that's one of the problems. So it would be nice, not only can you do that, but ultimately you might be able to tie it in with a pump. They can kind of pump insulin when they need. So that would really be kind of the best thing. And then people will kind of control whether they want to be or not. Who knows about photoacoustics? Anybody ever heard of it? What do you know about sound? What's that? It is, one half of it is ultrasound. Yeah, the acoustics is ultrasound, absolutely. Anybody else know anything about it? It's actually not what, yes, what do you know?
It's using sound waves to bounce off materials to provide a visual.
Okay, ultrasound, the imaging is bouncing off, that's what I worked in actually for 30 years, was ultrasound imaging. So it does it, but in this case you're using ultrasound but not bouncing off materials. That's what is echo ranging is kind of the way that's typically done for looking at babies and hearts and livers. Okay, what you're going to do is you're going to use a laser beam and you're going to fire it into tissue. Now we're going to actually just fire it into glucose water because we don't want to get into doing things with bodies, viewing bodies. Just yet, maybe we will, but we have to go get permission to do that because you don't want to risk people hurting people. But when you send that laser in, if you pick the right wavelength, and one of the problems you're going to have to do is pick the right wavelength, you'll find the wavelength that glucose absorbs. And when glucose absorbs it, and the things around it don't absorb it, if you've got something absorbing energy, what's going to happen to that material? It vibrates, and then it goes away. We're going to find what happens to all wasted energy. It ends up as what? Heat. When it absorbs it, it heats. And when it heats, it does what? We know what heat, when it warms stuff up, it expands. So we're going to put a great big pulse of laser light into the body, into this. The glucose is going to absorb it, and it's going to be so powerful and short that it's going to quickly absorb it and expand. And then when it expands, that launches an ultrasonic wave. That ultrasonic wave will come out, and we're going to measure that ultrasonic wave that came from the absorption of laser light. Make sense? Okay, and so what I've done, this just kind of shows it if you have a time to look at it. This is an entire system. Now this are the results from people that use great big laser. Now you're not going to take the laser that was this size. This is a neodymium YAG laser shooting into, it's really done with people. It was done in the hospital with people. And I think this is a small study. It's only 10 people. And what you can't see is this is the prediction of the glucose levels according to this photoacoustic, so according to just the amplitude of the ultrasound wave. Then immediately, they took the blood from the person, and this is the actual information. That's the actual glucose content, and that's predicted glucose. That's what got me excited when I saw that. That's really good prediction. That's a pretty remarkable result. And it was done with different individuals. It was done with 10 different people. So the question now is, we don't have a great big laser, and we can't use a great big laser. You're not going to wear a big laser. Can you do this with a laser diode? Now, some people have done some work on that. We'll have to find that out and research it. But up here, this is a picture of the laser diode. We're not going to study it now, but that's going to be one of our topics. We're going to go through these topics kind of one by one. Sometimes I'll present them. Sometimes you'll present them. Sometimes we'll just research them, and I'll say, do that. And this is a laser diode, a little tiny device. Not tiny, but kind of like the end of your finger. Then what we're going to have to do is we need to concentrate that laser light into a very, very tiny pulse. We're making a short pulse. We concentrate it in. One of our studies is optics. This isn't light you can see, but it's optics. And we're going to learn to use lenses to expand that beam and to concentrate it into a certain point so it heats up really fast. So then this is an ultrasonic transducer. And that's what you have to do to pick it up. Now, get your blue sheets out, please. The overall description of the project, please. And if you've not done this already, and I see some of you have, this is what your 3-ring notebooks are for. Your 3-ring notebooks are so you don't lose this. I mean, look at the amount of paper that we've had in this class so far. If you're trying to keep this stuff in a folder, guess what? It's not that good. But what I've done is you do the same thing I've done, or find another way that really handles a lot of paper. And all I'm